Hello everyone and welcome to the Vermin Sermon. We got a comment on the last video by Ty Cal. I don't know the exact how you want your name to be said, but I appreciate the comment. It gives us something to talk about, and also it shows that we're not just making this for no one.
We're not speaking to the void.
Yeah.
Hoping it speaks back.
Yes.
No,
When you talk to
no.
the void talks back. Anyways,
Oh,
your comment
oh.
was about the new test drive game, the leaks on it, and also like in general about test drive, our experiences with it, yada yada, etc. So I played TDU 2, but I never played the first game. Never played the first game. I had 2 on PS3, and then later I got it on PC. But on PC, it's really broken, and it's somewhat complicated to set up sometimes. If I don't know, like you have to like find a tool to play because their servers are iffy. But in any case, there are a lot of things that I liked about TDU2, and honestly, it's extremely innovative if you look at it with its online multiplayer. It basically did all drive and like that kind of type of thing way before anything else did it. So, you have TDU2, and then you have Need for Speed games doing this like online free roam multiplayer kind of based, but also kind of single player world, if you get what I'm saying. And then the
Yeah.
Crew, which surprise surprise is made by some of the same people. They did that, and then Need for Speed 2015 especially, and then Forza is now doing that with Horizon Life and all of that stuff. And it's crazy that TDU2 was the one that started it. Um,
Do you know what I like about that?
yeah, what?
I would love to, like, with racing games or any games where there's like a something that's like a staple of this genre's like identity. I would love to see like you not from this game, but like Wheels Are Back. But this was the game like it was originally introduced.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things like we take for granted that is just there that was probably new in another game.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Think,
everything had to have been new
come
from
with
something.
open world.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
first
it
game
was.
open world,
And then like honestly, if you look at the early test drive games, like the first few
yeah.
ones, and basically those and early Need for Speed games were basically, well, mainly test drive because Need for Speed came out a little bit later. It was really just to see, can we, with the current technology, make a three-dimensional racing game like that. That was really the challenge of the time, and surprising, but yeah. So honestly, now that I remember that, test drive is a bit more innovative than I think a lot of people consider. So hold on a second. I'm gonna look up when the first game came out because I did not think about this. I want to say it came out in the 80s, but let's see here.
Jesus, that's a real pioneer.
I'm probably wrong. Oh yeah, 87, 1987.
No, I was about to say you actually sound
Yeah.
correct. Like the first test drive, I'm fairly certain was that year, like at the same time when they were bouncing out. Like actually, it would have been the year after, like Sega Genesis, fucking
Yeah.
Monaco GP, like the center one, like
that wow, it's
Whoa. By the way, your
that
camera,
is
your
like
audio
the
quality.
grandfather.
Okay, you're good. You're good. Sorry. Keep going. Keep going. Your audio quality
That is
dropped
like the
for a sec.
yeah. That
It's
is
good
the
though.
grandfather of like 3D racing games. 87.
Yeah. 87. Yeah, and like of course, back then you had the Outrun arcade stuff and the
Yeah.
what's it called? The one I actually have it on the NES cuz I have one. Got to use some years back. Oh, I don't remember what it's called. It's like the Rad Racer, that one. But that really is basically like an attempt at basically fooling you into thinking it's 3D. Well, when it really just uses a lot of 2D stuff. I don't know I did not explain that very well at all. But basically,
No, I
it
know what
doesn't
you mean.
actually
I know what you mean,
use 3D models in a three-dimensional space. It doesn't do that. But yeah, so test drive, there's a lot of innovation, and I feel like myself included, we don't really give it enough credit.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like discrediting the genre by not knowing these type of origins because I am
Yeah.
a guy who's like a historian and everything he likes.
Yeah,
Damn,
87. That's crazy.
Fucking hell,
That's crazy.
that would have been that. And considering the West,
Yeah.
that was the era where arcades started to get really like it was about that point where arcades were just a staple like the West. Around
Yeah, but when you
late
think
to-
about it, it's kind of like Test Drive in different ways birthed the modern racing game. If you
It
think
did.
about it, yeah, 3D, and
Fuck.
then the huge, massive online multiplayer, and to an extent having an enormous map. Although that's more so like a feature rather than innovation, because not companies don't always do it. I don't know, whatever. But you get what I'm saying. A lot of
Yeah,
innovation.
no.
But some of the other
Actually,
things.
it comes back
Oh,
to
go
the
ahead.
thing. It's just like about things in racing games we just take for granted. That was like the first. Imagine being, like say there's an arcade machine. Imagine in '87 you go to like your local arcade and they're like, "Yo, like you like these racing games? Look at this new game we have, Test Drive. It's actually 3D.
Yeah.
Like that would be like holy.
Wait a minute.
Like-
I don't want to. I don't want. I gotta look up actual gameplay of it, because imagine it's not. We're just talking crap this whole time. Test Drive 1 gameplay. Because I actually really doubt that in the 80s it would. Yeah. It's not. No, it's not actual real 3D. Hold on. Just 1 second here. In a second. Okay, it
You know
wasn't.
what?
But here's the thing, right? Okay, I noticed a couple things. It's cockpit view, and I don't know if that was new at that time or not. But all I'm saying is, okay, maybe they didn't innovate in that area,
No,
and maybe they
here's the
did
thing.
with the later Test Drive games, right? Maybe the third game was the first one to have 3D. So, yeah,
I might look that up actually. Later.
I would have to do more research, but if we can't say that, we can still say for sure that they innovated in a bunch of different ways, especially with the huge online multiplayer, and they've been around for a long time, regardless of whether or
87
not.
is fucking a long
Yeah,
time.
it is.
Like, if you think about it, like
That's
I
like
consider games
Nintendo
like
old,
Street
you know what I'm saying?
Fighter, Tekken, Mario, those games is like
Yeah, a
fucking,
couple years.
that was a pair. 87.
87, yeah.
Fuck.
Man, that's crazy. Apple II ports were made. Apple
I was
II.
about to say, isn't it like literally
Dang.
like the Mac?
Yeah, the platforms for the for Test Drive. The Amiga, the
Oh my
Atari
God.
ST, Commodore 64, MS DOS, Apple II. That's insane.
DOS?
Wow. The second game, ZX Spectrum.
Oh,
Don't hear
God.
that. Haven't heard that name in a while.
Neither. Also sounds like, what was it, fucking, in the first Fast and Furious where they said, what was it, the made-up type brand Mashimoto ZX tires?
Mm.
Civics.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, old game consoles, man.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like I'm not finding the exact information, but I want to go back to TDU 2 for a second here. Some of the things that were really interesting, the little details. It has a lot. They, you know, if I can say anything, you should really like just pay attention to the details. When you can roll down the windows, you have different car dealerships, right? You don't just have this generic car show or auto show or generic car
I miss
dealership
that. I
or
miss
anything.
those.
You actually like have to go to an Italian car dealership if you want an Italian car, or maybe an
That's like
Audi
the
dealership
fucking-
if you want an Audi. Like, and you walked around in there, and then you could talk to
Yeah,
the
I love
person to select like which car. I think I might be wrong there.
It's immersion.
Yeah, it is.
It's immersion.
And
It reminds me of the fucking Tokyo Drift game. You have to go to like each car's dealership.
oh yeah. Yeah,
I
so
like that experience.
yeah, and what's it called? And you also have to find the different car tuners, and you know, not everyone is gonna be a specialist for your type of car, so you have to find a European
I
car
love
tuner.
That was actually what I was about to launch into. The kind of specialty of some cars. I love.
Yeah. Honestly, okay, I think while I didn't like things like the handling model, I really didn't like that. And the story, the acting, holy cow, dude! I would sit
Racing
through
games and stories.
2015's cutscenes any day over Test Drive Unlimited 2s. I can't stand them.
I recently did sit through them. And
Oh yeah,
spiky
yeah.
Mikey.
Oh, he's the worst. But not as bad.
Relaxed.
Yeah. I
This
remember that.
wasn't actually that bad.
Yeah.
But to be fair, in the game, like, hit 15, all that, blah blah. But I haven't done the Outlaws thing. And the
Yeah.
reason, well, green go, but mainly was because I wanted to save it till last and use the improved cops. I'm like, I bet you, from like the little Outlaw story I have done already, it feels way better with cops that actually.
Oh, of course.
Chase you.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, this one felt nice.
Yeah, I'd imagine. You could, because of how lame the cops normally are, is why I don't really enjoy the Outlaw branch. I guess vanilla. But in
and
any
the thing
case,
about the Outlaw branch, I love the part where, like, I kind of suspected he was the goon because he's always dipping and as someone.
Yeah, no, and it just made sense, just logically, right? There's like, okay, Amy is the build person, Robin is crew, Spike is speed, Manu is style. There's Travis, and I wonder who the outlaw is. Like they should have put more thought into that, but whatever.
As a kid,
it's
not.
not.
Do you know what my one was?
What?
As a kid, 15, right? When I started.
Yeah.
Doing illicit things behind the wheel. I could just tell it was him because it was like he reminds me of me. Like when I started, like the boys, like I'm like, I'm just gonna go out like this. Really, I'm going for fucking.
Yeah. Allegedly. We can neither confirm nor deny any information.
In Ventura Bay.
All right.
But nah. Yeah, just the constant like dipping out of like group activities to do his own thing. So yeah, I feel like you're on some bullshit.
Yeah.
I feel like you're not telling us everything.
And
one thing I love is at the race at the end where it's just there in a Z. You think his little group aiming him like, oh fucking you. What it was Spike always fight you?
Yeah.
Line. Like,
oh wow. I remember that. If we go back to TDU2 for a second, what I was gonna say was, I consider it an ideal Forza Horizon. Like I see it as what they kind of are trying to achieve with the modern games. Let me explain. I think that Horizon 1 was really about the festival and it made it apparent. But I'd say 3 and 4, and then probably for the next ones, they're probably mainly just going to focus on a really open and free driving experience rather than like a serious racing game, whatever. But TDU2, it really nails that aspect. Now it doesn't have the handling model, but everything, all the little details, from rolling down the windows to changing the radio stations to finding dealerships to finding car tuners to the huge expansive map, and also it does have a lot of like expensive cars and things. Also houses. You can buy a yacht. You can buy a yacht and put your cars on it or something like that. I might be wrong there.
Flex.
Forza is kind of like the rich guy simulator, and
Sultan of Brunei simulator.
Yeah, and TDU2 is also like that, but there's progression in it. Like you have to get your way up there.
Do you know what I love about that though?
Yeah, what is it?
Forza has like these really, really rare cars where like 3 of them in existence.
Yeah.
I remember looking at them and I'm like, the Sultan of Brunei has like 1 or 2. So you really are playing.
You really are. Yeah.
You really are. Because what was that like race spec Koenigsegg that never raced? Like, that one that's in 4th one?
Say one more time?
It's that Koenigsegg. It's white and it's like that GT.
It's a CCGT.
Yeah, the GT.
Yeah.
CCGT, yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So there's like 3 of them. I just say Koenigsegg because that's what fucking Christian said. I'm like, I can't give company, bro. But with that, he has 1 of them. The other one's in the museum, and then the 3rd one is Sultan of Brunei has it.
Of course he does. Wow.
He has a bunch of like 1 or 2 in existence, like HKS tuned cars. And it's like, what
that's
the fuck?
ridiculous.
Why do you just, bro, you really just have everything? You really are just Forza.
He is. Man is living in Forza IRL.
His infinite warehouse glitch.
Yeah, he's the person who's like, man, I need a bigger garage. I can't hold more than 750 cars. But like in real life, that's his problem.
I think he does have. He is in the hundreds.
He's he has to be.
Fucking scary. It's like,
yeah. But going back to TDU. The next one is allegedly going to be called Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, and because Solar Crown was one of the race teams in TDU too, if I remember.
Oh yeah.
Honestly,
You know what's funny about that?
yeah. What is it? What
It's
is it?
been people like stalk the the timeline. And it's like there's like a private locked account, has like 3 followers.
Yeah.
That has the the fucking the Twitter handle for the game, and then there's blah blah blah. It's like the thing is that this might go into development and then it might never happen. So it's like,
That's true.
People will say like, oh no, it wasn't leading to anything. It's like it might have led to something. It's got stopped.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've always attributed it. Have you ever had planes got dressed and then the planes got fucking deaded immediately, and then you're just standing there? It sounds like in like fully dressed. It's like that. Like, what about when I'm making a Midnight Club and then the whole thing with Rockstar happened?
Yeah.
Never happened.
Yeah, and it didn't. And who, like, maybe, possibly it still could, but who's to say? I think I remember when there's a game. It's not a racing game. Terraria Otherworld was a spin-off game to an already existing game called Terraria, and I guess the context you need to know. They like, it wasn't necessarily leaked. I don't remember, or maybe it was, but they themselves gave out some information. Then a lot of time went by. Sorry, it was supposed to come out around 2015 or something. I think something like that, and then gets pushed and pushed and pushed, and then they cancel it. And I think one of the reasons why game devs don't want to leak stuff is because you never know if your project is ever going to come to completion. You just never know.
To think as a dev.
Yeah, like the things
all
you
this work
pour
is
hours
for nothing.
and hours and hours. And honestly, if you want me to be honest,
What if you're like, say who you work for, you're having to crunch and it might never come out.
or
Stuff for nothing.
you're a developer for Need for Speed. It's 2016 and early 2017. You're working on Payback, right? And you're like, oh, I have to divorce my wife to get more time to work on this. Like you are putting everything in, and then Marcus Nielsen quits, and then the other guy becomes creative director, and then that slashes the whole thing, and then the higher ups are like, no, we want to make the game be like this, and then you basically get the death threats. Like, I'm not saying that's what's happening, but you can kind of see that,
You're getting death threats from fans, death threats from your ex-wife. That's crazy. Like,
you divorced me for this?
Shit. That sounds like hell.
Yeah, it does.
Your personal life was sacrificed for Payback.
Oh
Well,
man.
that's not even worth it all.
Yeah, no, it's not.
As fuck.
Yeah.
But that isn't even horrific. That's just that's an L.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
It's not even a dub. I was gonna be like, oh, it's horrific. No, it's just an L, fat, big L in your face.
Yep.
And they can go on your resume. I made Payback.
That's a sure way to not get hired.
And
I'm just
thinking
kidding.
about 2015 playing it, it's like, it does, like, that. I feel like the scary thing is, like, playing through the story and all that, it's like, it's not a bad story at base, it's just some of the characters are just annoying as fuck.
Yeah, you
Like,
see, on paper.
Having to hit each other to try get out the... God, I remember those days where it's like, insert filler name. It's like, yo, you're working tonight, like, we can go out to, like, fucking Walker or Highcliff or whatever, do some runs. It's like, nah, I got work. It's like, oh, fuck. Okay, how about you? Oh, you got... Oh, okay, fuck, yes, it's just me, huh? It's like, it's like that sometimes. Like, you have to make... Once again, it's another thing you have to make time for. Because you'd be like, nah, I got, like, finals, I can't go out home, and I literally have to fucking study. It's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I think the story on paper was good. You're just hanging out with friends. You get the attention of people in the car scene. Actual real people, by the way, in the car scene.
That's the one thing I thought was funny, right? Because the way they talk about, I actually literally had this thought, right? When they're talking about these guys, and most people just playing, but they're just characters in the story. No, they're like real people, like.
Yeah, they're not
the
even
funny thing is,
when
Amy says, "Did you know that Nakai's son was a street racer?" Yeah, like for real was.
Yeah.
Like, he was early days Chivas scene street racer. Yeah, how's you?
Yes, sir.
And they used to drive 86 just because they were just cheap and high school kids could pick them up.
Yeah.
Before everything happened, price was terrifying. It's still not that bad here.
Yeah.
Over there, but like I know in the States.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
no, it's
like
not.
every high school kid would just pick up one of those shitters just because they were so cheap at the time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like,
It,
yeah, well, his
here's
thing,
the
right? Nag, the reason why Nag started making kits is because he was just he felt like the kits they were releasing at the time to a degree was lazy.
yeah, and he wanted
And
to
the team he
put some more
belonged to
stuff
was
out
called
there.
Rough World,
Mhm.
and because he had a specialization in Porsches,
Yeah.
just translate to German, Rollbackbegriff,
Yeah, yeah.
RWB.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, he really does have like a legitimate backstory because it's not a character, it's a person.
It's an actual
It's
real life person,
interesting.
dude. And
Yeah,
here's the
that's
thing, I might not be personally interested in like trying to get the attention.
You know the S15 that Amy has?
Yeah,
working
that one.
on, it's with the RWB kit. It's an RWB S15, but they don't have it in the game.
But they don't have it in the game.
Yeah, they have a lot of really weird
That's kinda
RWBs
odd.
from like the early days. Like,
Yeah.
there's the 8. I'm surprised they don't have the RWB 86 kit in this game.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I don't think in Heat they added the RWB R32 GTR kit, but the it exists in Forza.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a
Huh?
lot of RWB kits.
Yeah, there
Yeah.
are. I might be wrong on that, but whatever. Or no, I was sorry. I was thinking of Liberty Walk. I was thinking of Liberty Walk. I was
Yeah.
thinking of the Liberty Walk R32 kit. I think the RWB kit was in some of the Need for Speed games. Anyways, what I was saying
Oh, yeah,
was
the Pandem, yeah.
Pandem. Yeah. I might not be personally interested in like getting the attention or meeting Ken Block or whatever, but somebody could be, right? That's a lot
Look,
different
that's the
from
thing.
like I don't feel immersed when I'm trying to bust an illegal police car vehicle storage operation and head by some lieutenant like
Oh, I gotta
why?
get, like,
What is that?
because the thing is,
What
it's
even?
living at your fantasy, right? But
Yeah.
like someone's fantasy really could just be. I actually have met him. Funny enough, Kim Block.
Hey,
When we came over here.
really? Nice.
Yeah, no, because it was for the Otago Historic Rally, and him and like a couple other rally drivers were over here. Because we're one of the few countries which just allows the use of Code 3 cars. Like we literally have like the fucking the rigs and rules and regs for the historic rally that are actually historic.
Dang.
Like yeah, it'd be, you don't have to have safety in your car, but it would be kind of fucking recommended. You don't have to. The rules say you don't have to.
True.
So yeah,
True.
people like some of the owners here with their like fucking martini Lanciers and shit will bring them out.
Dang.
Like seeing the Delta S4 in real life is like, man, you are
Wild.
a small car, but I know how aggressive and crazy you go.
Yeah.
Driven you in a game.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
just in my face right now. You're real.
Oh.
Weird.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
It's
it
like
is,
the
I
meeting
imagine.
your heroes and they're actually just as cool as you think.
I want to
Especially
go. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. What is it?
Especially when the engine's just in the trunk. It's not even a
Yeah.
midship. It's not even MR. It's like
Rear engined.
Yeah, rear engine, rear wheel drive. It's like, oh yeah. And then your twin charge. Oh yeah.
That'd
Twin
be
charge
sick,
is a wild
actually.
concept to me, because that was the first car that used twin charge in like a practical sense. It was all theory beforehand, like that you could use a supercharger, low RPM,
With
and just have
a-
a perfect fucking,
Yeah.
just have a perfect fucking, oh, I'm retarded. Power band.
There you
Why
go.
was that so hard
There
for
you
me to
go.
say? Yeah, I was like, it's amateur. I felt I had to get babysit. Yeah, it's just top, low end, just bottom end, top end, fucking power band. But
Yeah.
they also put them in the fucking they called them the March, Nissan March. Those little shitty hatchback things. Is that
Yeah.
what they're called in the States? Yeah, well,
I don't remember.
I think their brand is the Micro over there.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so the March, the original March.
Oh, yeah,
was,
it's
a
coming to me.
Yeah, the super turbo version with the twin charge, which is fucking cool.
That's crazy.
So many weird little notes. Yeah, imagine having a little hatchback that's twin charge. That's cool.
You know, if to the unprepared driver, that'd probably be a death trap. Some of those things are light.
It's literally like, imagine a Civic and you twin charged it and put the engine and then it was all-wheel drive. 'Cause I think the super turbo version they released, they actually had a WRC as well, like against like the familiar GTX. I'm pretty sure it is all-wheel drive twin charge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it has a real cool key. It's like a little cat for some reason. So,
Oh, really?
Yeah, like looking at like little things you have for the cards, like you can tell a lot of thought was put into this.
Dang.
Like they wanted this card to come out.
Yeah.
I miss that. Like imagine. Oh, it's just really. Actually, great topic. The new Z. I actually quite like it.
Oh yeah.
Kinda
Okay.
Aston
I guess
Martin.
let's get to that because I've been meaning to talk about it. So,
Perfect transition.
that and also, I think Nissan should reintroduce the S chassis. I really think they should. And
100%.
here's the way I see it, and I'm not saying this is I guess how they see it or how a normal person, whatever. Think of GTRs, whether or not they were Skyline GTRs or not, are always basically
Yeah,
Nissan's
just
flagship, like top of the line performance car.
Yeah, the motorsport.
Yeah, and then the Fair Lady is kind of like you want a reasonably fast sports car, and I see the S chassis as cheap entry level, or not, maybe not cheap, like affordable entry level sports cars, right? Someone like me might be able
and
to
then you
afford
have,
pretty
like,
easily.
And then you have the spare car veering, which like
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
So
the Fair Lady is like in the middle.
yeah, exactly. And I think there should it should have an S chassis because we don't see a lot of really entry level sports cars anymore, and I think because of that there's less competition and the price is a little bit ridiculous. So let me just pull up some things. A base model.
When there's no competition, you can just set the fucking.
Yeah, you can. Guess how much a 181 horsepower Mazda MX-5 costs, brand new. Bear in mind, yes, it's very light. It's very lightweight. So it has great handling.
25K.
$26,580.
Oh, that's close.
But that's not good. That's the thing.
Yeah,
but here's
the same here.
here's Oh, really? Okay. But here's the madness. A Toyota GT86 is $27,485. A new BRZ is $28,845, and both are around 200 to 205 horsepower. Now I know they have good handling, they're lightweight, whatever, yada yada yada, cool. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember or know how much like an S13 cost brand new back then, and then also adjusted for inflation.
I can actually tell you how much.
Ooh,
they are
okay.
S13s at release were about 12,000 NZ, which is still like 6,000 US.
Yeah, and then but you gotta of course adjusting for inflation and all that
do you know how
stuff.
much an 8.6 was at release?
Really? No.
The only reason I know this is because my dad told me, because when he was over in Japan at the time doing his fucking Karaté World Championships and this bullshit.
Yeah.
He was gonna pick between, so he had two options. Because he had like a lot of money. He got like scholarships. He was a fucking nerd. Kind of
Yeah.
Like
hey,
the
shout out to the nerds.
Yeah.
No, you're the wild. I'm the
nerds.
I'm the civilized nerd.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, me and my dad are kind of saying my dad would like go drink with the boys and then turn up to like his fucking engineering class because that's what he did. So.
Hey, I respect it. Anyways, what were you saying about the 8.6 price?
That's my thing. If anything, when I drink the night before, I wake up early. Like my body.
That does not even make sense.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it's like, oh god, I use that as an alarm originally for Vermin Sermon. I got the boys drink. And
no wonder.
I wake up
wow.
at 7 a.m. and go drink some water, blah blah. I'm like, yes, ready for Vermin Sermon. That's why someone will be a little extra crazy.
All right.
When it comes to that, the 8.6 was. And the yen equivalent of 5,000.
Wait, I think you cut out. Okay, say again.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
It was the yen equivalent of 5,000 NZ.
Oh my gosh! What the heck, dude?
Yeah, that's how much. Because my dad was either going to get an 8.6, which is the cheapest option. He bought the FC, or he was looking to get because they were starting to roll out the S13 Ks, which is like the better model with the turbo. Yeah. And he's like, oh, it's a little more expensive though, but you just got the FC. But I'm thinking, first of all, what the fuck? How cheap were those again?
That's ridiculous. Hold on, now I'm gonna.
We are bleeding now.
That was 80. Refresh me. 85.
87. He went over 85, but didn't buy a car for like 2. Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah, 87. It's like.
Because let's see.
Because that's the funny thing about the 8.6. They released an 8.5. Surely they would have just delayed it another year, so the 8.6 released in 1986. But,
Yeah. All right. So that would cost about $7,000 today in today's money, U.S. dollars. Or is this around 3,000 U.S. dollars, like 5,000 New Zealand?
Yeah.
That is ridiculous. Okay, but obviously I think the car market changed and all that stuff. But here's the thing.
To be fair, it's still not that bad here. It's like and
over
the
there.
base model 8.6, the GT Apex model too, the one that was like the sought after.
Yeah.
They're about stock. They're hard to find stock. Usually they're like turbocharged Formula Atlantic, something fucking cracky. It's always something batshit, right?
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
usually about 11 grand, 10 grand.
Okay. Nice.
But then again, the last one I saw was 55 grand. They had a Formula Atlantic engine.
Oh.
It was a 7A GTE. Because the 7A is the 1.8 liter, but they bored and stroked it to set from 1.6 to 1.8. So it's the 7A GTE. It's like tube the front end. And it's like, who the fuck is buying? Actually, wait, someone here is gonna buy that. I know how many people are.
Yeah. But I wanted to highlight something. So a new BRZ is gonna have around 200 to 205 horsepower, 28,845 U.S. dollars. A 332 horsepower Nissan 370Z base model, $30,090, right? So for about $1,000, you get the difference between a BRZ and a 370Z, right? And I know Nissan isn't known for high quality interiors, and they're not known for. I mean, they have been cutting around corners here and there, but if you want to think about value, what I think is what's unfortunate is like the two different kind of classes, so to speak. You have the Z and then you have the S, right? Those levels of performance are almost kind of merging when you look at price, which shouldn't be happening.
Yeah, it shouldn't homogenize. We should all have these tiers because you can move up them.
It's crazy.
And when it comes to the car culture, like I feel like the reason car culture. Well, it doesn't seem like it's suffering, but in the scenes, I feel like it's because it's very hard for younger
economy
kids to get cars. Like in the States, you guys are fucked if you want to use Japanese.
Yeah.
Like here, like I said, I got lucky. Damn, I got onto and I fucking got an S-Dub at 15. Fucking
yeah.
And
what do you know?
And then I got that weird deal from my friend who had to pay course fees for street racing. But like,
nice.
It's like that is the thing. I think that's the reason why the car culture is just like outward, because high school kids can really go work at Macca's and buy like an R32 GT.
Yeah.
After like a couple weeks.
And it really goes back to just this.
It's like motorsports. It's such a hard discipline to
kind of
because you need so much money and backing. Like when I was a kid doing karting, fucking hell. Luckily, like my mom with like all her connections, like managed to get me some like pretty good deals and stuff. But it was like,
that's nice.
You pretty much have to like advertise yourself. And I advertise myself as like my race craft is but like I am gonna get like hot, like and probably on the front row of the grid. Like always a very good single lap pace. But I just burned my tires. Like I was a young boy.
Yeah.
Now I'm seasoned. But yeah. It's like, and that is also a weird thing. A lot of the hoons here that sometimes I hang out with, it's nice and refreshing to know that, like, oh, you went through karting school too, so we're just like trained hoons. That's interesting.
Yeah. It really going back to what you said about I guess how hard it is to like unless you're loaded, right? Who's gonna spend 27, 26, 28 grand for not even that great performance, 30 grand for a 370Z, I think that's worth it, right? And I'm not the target demographic for that. But, if we had, I had it written down here, if we had the Eclipse spec, the actual Eclipse spec, the Toyota Celica, the S16, there would be competition and prices would drop and people would be...
S16.
You know how that would how cool that'd be?
Imagine if they released the S16, they released like, the Spec S, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, at least for like say our current generation moving out into like workforce, it's actually viable.
Yeah, it would be. It would be.
Like,
and not only that, but that means
we got a car from we got a car released off like our generation, like
BRC
and all that. Yeah, but it's
things like the BRZ, the 86, and the MX5. I bet their prices would drop. I bet their prices would drop because there's nothing like. I mean, I know also the MX5 is a bit of an off case, but still, it's like when you look at, you have so much money and you want a fun driving experience, right? And I've seen on college campuses where people have like BRZs. I've seen that quite a bit. Like that's kind of like in my area. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. A lot of lecturers have BRZs. I've noticed.
That's interesting.
And to be fair,
yeah.
If you want to see really at my uni nice cars, you hang out by O block, which is the engineering block.
Yeah.
There's always Skylines.
Really?
You just hang around.
That's ridiculous, dude. I the whole way.
One project I went past, it was one of my friends. I'm like, oh, what are you doing? Because he's at like the fucking lathes or CNC machines.
Yeah.
And he shows me like he opens his CAD file. It's like, yo, look at this. It's a fucking manifold. He's literally trying to like
make his own. I'm not even gonna.
As long as you're actually allowed to do it as long as you pay for like the materials.
The materials,
so,
yeah. I have considered that. I have definitely considered that. Because like with the CNC machines and all the workshops and whatever. But going back to this, right? Here where I am, if you don't have like a cheap muscle car or something, and you want something new and relatively sporty, you basically get a BRZ or something like that, right? A lot of people will also get like the V6 Mustangs and the Camaros and stuff like that, which they still give you have a decent amount of power, rear wheel drive, etc. Just for fun factor, and that just sounds ridiculous. That for 200 horsepower, you're gonna have to shell out like 26, 27, 28 grand. I just think that's absurd.
Feels like you get fleeced.
Yeah, it does. And then like just a little bit more than that, and you get a base model 370Z at 332 horsepower. I know I'm not saying I'm not considering weight, I'm not considering handling, I'm not considering all of that. But just look at it this way: what will give you fun for an amount of money that you're paying? And I think that's a little bit ridiculous. The way
I feel like
are.
You should always aim for like price versus like fun.
Yeah. Because ultimately,
actually, the greatest analogy I think I've ever heard is with someone says it's smiles versus miles. Like, how much does it cost to get those miles? Like the car, maintenance, gas. God, there's a lot of shit. Like, man, when I go into cars, like, there's a lot of this bullshit.
Yes, there is. But going on the 400Z, there are rumors that the Nissan 400Z or whatever it's going to be called is going to have around 400 horsepower and cost around $40,000 That's a rumor. That's not an actual fact.
Fair.
What I see is if that's there, then basically the gap widens because Nissan doesn't have an S16 and the other companies aren't willing to think about the or there isn't that much competition, and because of that, we're still going to have absurdly expensive what's it called, like really entry level sports cars, and then the 400Z, right? Now, granted, it might be deserving of a 40 grand price tag because of the performance it has. 400, that's a pretty decent. That's a lot of power actually, and that's kind of like super range, although not price range. It
actually
like considerably better.
Though.
Yeah, go ahead.
How many friends do you know who like cars?
In real life, one.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad. Actually, two, counting my cousin.
The thing about New Zealand is, I think it is because of the thing that cars are accessible, is that people who don't even like cars still have like pretty decent knowledge and like have their favorites.
Yeah, some of them do.
One of my main boys, he's not really into cars and all that, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He won't ever turn up going passenger seat in a little hoon though. No one. Really would. Like it's a thing to take out like your parents' car or even go for a little burn.
Yeah.
One of your learners.
Actually,
his favorite car, funny enough, the fucking Z32, 300 ZX.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he is real interesting, and he loves Bosses Orku.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's so interesting. It's like you have such a unique taste in cars. You're not even a car person.
Yeah, you're not even.
He never grew up on Fast and Furious movies. Blah blah blah.
Nope, he just naturally
we grew up on seeing skylines and shit everywhere. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's weird. Like
That's-
some people have weird tastes here.
Yeah.
That aren't car people. It's like, yeah, I like this car. It's like I remember
That's
hearing
actually
someone say,
cool.
yeah, like the Mark II Escort is my favorite car, and they want a car person.
Hey,
like,
why
what?
not? Why not?
That's like a rally. Yeah, I'm not. I'm the.
I get you. I
It's
get
a
what you're
rally
saying.
legend.
Yeah,
I
it
was
is.
like, shocked.
Yeah.
And then I was checking a flat pipe, and then she went into how her dad has a Mark One, and showed me. I'm like, that's sick.
That's awesome.
Hey, dude, there's a Mark One Escort outside my boy's flat. Like, there's
Really?
a guy next door who owns it. Yeah,
What the crap, man?
that was. Yeah, you
So used to
shit
see. I'm
around.
so used to just seeing Challengers, Chargers, F-150s, and all that
I've
stuff.
never
I
seen
just
it,
want to see
like,
something else.
Yeah, I've never seen that stuff. I've never seen
Yeah.
it. I think
Yeah, that's
I've seen,
weird, though.
I don't even
But
think
you
I've
know,
seen
that's
a
how it is.
C7 Corvette.
Wow, they're like they're not
I
like
don't know.
littered
I
all
don't
over the
think
place,
they-
but they're you see a lot of them in the U.S.
Do you know what you see all over the place here as far as Corvettes go? You see the Stingray and you see the C5.
Oh, but you don't see the
Like,
anything
yeah,
else.
the one from fucking like Hot Pursuit 2. You always
yeah,
see
yeah,
that,
that of course.
and you always see Stingrays. It's weird.
Yeah, well, I mean, because like that's weird to me, but of course,
We
like,
have a huge
the way
muscle scene here.
the way
We're just
you're like you're explaining like that's also weird to me, and like I guess like my car, you know, it's just because different people in the world are gonna have
You see like
different
lowriders around here.
different
sometimes.
you know, car tastes and whatever you can import and all that stuff, but that's still really fascinating to hear.
Talking about imports, I saw,
yeah.
what was it, like a year ago? I was pretty shocked. I saw a GSX Eclipse.
Really?
They don't have those here.
Yeah,
Only America got
neither
them.
here. I mean, that's what it feels like because I actually went
Yeah,
looking
you
at
totally got
some.
them.
Oh,
Yeah, the
it's
old
like
GSX, Like the
impossible.
one that, like, you know, Paul Walker had, and then, you know, the fucking
All-wheel
underground
drive.
intro car. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember seeing one of those and, like, looking at it, this like, straight, you know, left-hand drive, and I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then he pops it in, and it's like, oh, there's the Evo heart. That's what I wanted to see.
yeah.
And like a fucking Tomei headers set. It's like, this is built. This looks scary.
Yeah, it does.
I like that. I love seeing the imports for us, like seeing, because there's a
Big muscle cars
massive
and
Euro
stuff.
scene, big muscle scene, and they
Yeah.
all converge, and you can easily see like, and that's why I like Japan. If you're gonna do a thing, Japan is that like extreme to an extreme degree.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
you'll see like a Bozozoku moped next to a Lyra. It's weird. It's like, what's happening here, man? You don't care.
It just feels like a
about
fever
anything.
dream.
No, it is. That's the thing. All that insane, batshit crazy customization for like hypercars. That's like the one place it would fit.
Yeah, it would.
Hell, talking about that, if you didn't need speed, you could get in Tokyo. You're trying to get noticed. You know, if you go
Yeah.
by Anija, that group of the hypercars.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
that'd be sick. Like, because those specific Anija meets look insane.
Yeah.
Like you see like a Tesla also with like
imagine
a
so.
custom kit.
Mhm.
It's like what?
Yeah, that's crazy. But I want to reiterate. I do this thing like like part of my brain wasn't thinking like my friend groups, right? I have to remember. Okay, there's this, there's that. So I actually do have a lot
Exactly.
more than like two like in real life car friends. But I didn't think of that whole group. You know what I'm saying? They're like sanctioned
Yeah, 'cause
off. That's how my brain works. But and anyways, but to go swiftly back with the 400Z, you see, yeah, it's cool and all, but I don't really see myself getting that excited over it because unless I'm gonna shell out 40 grand for a car soon, I'm not the target demographic.
Yeah,
Honestly,
that's my thing.
like
I feel like I'm so far removed from that car.
yeah, I care because just because I want to see it and I think it's cool and I think you know
It's
more
another
cars
car,
great,
like, I'm never-
dude. Like honestly, the most excitement physically I'll get out of this is like driving it in Assetto Corsa through a mod or like through Forza or like a DLC in a game.
about
Like you
that.
know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna go out and buy this when it comes out,
Have
right?
you seen an A90 Supra?
I haven't
real life?
seen one. No, not in
Oh.
real life.
As well as a 9 sees them. I saw one recently at like the store. Just
You
the
did?
first time, like, yeah. I'm like, oh, this looks pretty nice.
Yeah,
I've never
I
seen
honestly-
an A90. You always see A80s here. A80s
Yeah, of
or
course.
A70. You
Yeah,
always
yeah.
see those the old Supra.
Yo, I want an
I haven't seen
A60
that.
really bad, but they're like nowhere here.
I'll always remember. I saw this. I think I was leaving school. It was this A60, and it had like the full like JTCC look, massive wide over fenders,
Yo.
like no trim on like the headlights and shit. It just looked like it belonged on a circuit, and it
Yeah.
looked amazing. I want it.
Yeah.
I love those old Supra Celikas. Those
Yeah.
are so sick.
Yeah, they
Some
are.
of my favorite cars.
Yeah. What were you saying? What were you saying?
It's just like you usually will see the older shit before the newer. Like you always see Evo 4s, 3s, and that around.
Yeah.
There's that one Evo 7 that the Acid dealer used to drive. I don't know who owns that now because that went up for police auction. But whoever
dang.
got it for real cheap. It was something ridiculous.
Oh,
Just
of course.
those police auctions, right? You know,
Yeah.
you go to them and be like, oh, there's Buick or whatever. Nah, here you're like, oh, here's this TRD. This is an actual. Here's this TRD kitted MR2, turbocharged R6 grand.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, excuse me.
Oh
I think
boy.
you just said $6 grand. Like they sell them for so cheap. Some people I know will wait for like street races to get caught, buy their cars and auction, sell them because you can just sell them for a markup.
That's crazy. Holy cow.
It's like,
What? Yeah. And I also want to say real quick, I'm not saying that if they released an S16 I'd go out and buy one, but it's more closer, right? It's something I can actually look at and say, hey, maybe sometime in the near future I could get my hands on one. And so that's why I feel like it's cool that the 400Z is going to come out, but honestly, I'm not the right demographic. I don't care that a whole lot much, and I think that Nissan should
only care
have
as
that
much
S16.
as like, oh, it's a new car.
Yeah, same here.
I'm just happy that like they're releasing cars.
But
Like just
it doesn't actually
it's
affect us.
It's not in
you know?
my bracket.
Yeah, and especially in the U.S. in general with the entry sports car scene, basically, if you're not gonna get a used car, you're not gonna be in that scene. Because if you're gonna spend $26,000, $27,000, you might as well get something used and then you use that, put that into something that'll be way far above and beyond. If you want to talk about like how much fun per how much money you're spending,
maximizing how much you're spending, pretty much.
Yeah, I really hope that they get on their stuff and make an S chassis, because I really don't. I mean I know why it's not going to happen though. It's because not enough people are buying cars like those kinds of cars. Toyota and Subaru had to work together in the first place. Mitsubishi killed off the Eclipse, or turned into the Eclipse Cross, and it's the same with the Evo and the 3000 GT. The market,
because I know here like that probably. Actually, if they priced it at that, probably not. But if they priced it cheaper, that shit would be insanely viable.
Yeah, what?
To be fair, not a lot of people here brought Supras, the new Supra, or all that.
Yeah.
But it's because it's like, why would I buy this when like I could literally just go out and buy like an already tuned monster for this price?
Yeah, you could.
Like it does like
That's the
ruin
thing.
a lot of things. Like pricing of new cars is like ruined by like what you can buy secondhand here.
Yeah, especially your secondhand market, as I've heard a few things.
Fucking scary.
Yeah, it is.
You see some insane
Oh
deals
my
and then
gosh.
these police auctions. If you're tuned into that, it's like, yeah, you're gonna get something.
Yeah.
Cheap.
But hey, I'll say this, right? If you go up a few tax brackets, if you can afford for 30 grand, okay, like 30 grand, that's about $1,000 and some dollars away from a brand new BRZ or a used Chevy Corvette Z06 C6. 505 horsepower, 198 miles per hour top speed, or a BRZ. Let that sink in.
Yeah, see, that doesn't work.
Let that sink in.
Like,
Dude.
the thing is, I bet you.
Let me look it up.
It
just in
depends,
case.
like, do you want to custom. And to be fair, you could just do some unique customization shit with the fucking. The Z06. Do something unique.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Like,
But
that
really is.
You're gonna get your speed for what you're buying. You're not going home empty-handed and fucking BRZ or Z06. Like I'm a jet car boy, jet boy superior. But no, I'm probably gonna get the Z06 in that case.
Yeah, you are. I
want velocity. I want speed. Give me it now. And Z06 gonna give it to me.
Yeah. So I'm gonna look. For some reason, it's finding it a bit harder. Find it because the price of the C6, the Z06, it changes. But yeah, okay. The first listing I find, $30,499 US, 2006 Corvette Z06.
I don't even think.
7,000 miles. 7,000. That.
The fuck?
Oh my! Whoa. Okay, dude.
It is so cheap.
Dude. Okay, there's one with 139,000 miles. 20 grand. It's 20 grand.
Oh yeah.
It's 20 grand. Imagine. A 7-liter V8.
Do you know what the thing
$20,000.
I feel like these car companies also got to take into context. Like, what is it like in the used car market?
Yeah. That's another thing. It's a completely different thing. A lot of these are hovering around 30 grand. Some of them in like the 20,000s, which is ridiculous. But still, for 7, it's closer to 8,000 miles, a $30,000 US dollars. That's like what? Like 35,000 New Zealand, like the 40,000 New Zealand. I don't know.
It's fucking nothing, mate.
Yeah.
That's what it is for that bargain.
Yeah, but you gotta check your used car market.
What could you get here? You could probably get like it's 30.
Probably get a lot there too.
I'm trying to think like, I know you could probably get like maybe like a twin turbocharged like with a pretty good tuned body kit there, like an RX-7.
Yeah, I'm sure. Your used car market is very different in the U.S. In the U.S., you want an A70 Supra. Hope you have $80,000 US.
A70.
Yes.
One of my friends has an A70. What the
That's
fuck?
ridiculous.
Well, he got his ages ago.
Dude,
like, as a
dude.
hand-me-down. Yeah,
He could take it to the U.S. and sell it and make mad profit. I bet.
In New Zealand, they usually like a lot of people like I know like there was a guy who had an RX-3 at my high school because it was a hand-me-down.
Yeah.
And I'm so sad I didn't get the hand-me-down. I got one from my uncle, so to speak. Great.
Yeah.
But if my dad hit this old car, I would have had an FC.
Oh.
It's like, leave me out of it.
Man.
I only driven an RX-7 once. It wasn't the FC.
Yeah.
Please. I love the FC. It's my favorite. SA might be my favorite.
Close to the
original.
Yeah. All right. So we're kind of close to the end of time here, but I wanted to. I really wanted to talk about two things. Let's be real quick here. Codemasters, they have the WRC license now. I don't really have a whole lot to say other than I hope they keep Dirt at the same time. So then the next Dirt game just has some WRC official, incorporated events and all that stuff.
And my thing is, I don't think they're gonna merge them just because I know the FIA would love to keep like their domains and race series separate, so to speak.
Yeah. So I really that's what I think about that. Moving very swiftly on, Project Cars 3 was announced, and I know a lot of people don't care, but I actually have a lot of stuff to say on this. Yeah. So Project Cars 3 was it was initially announced a long time ago, and then revealed. So we saw some gameplay footage and a trailer. First things you should know, it's made by Slightly Mad Studios under Codemasters. Codemasters bought Slightly Mad some time ago. The trailer, the cinematic one, reminded a lot of people of Need for Speed Shift and Drive Club, which is interesting because I think they noted the music choice. And it's interesting that they say Drive Club because Paul, and then I don't want to butcher his last name, the guy who worked on games like Drive Club, Onrush, MotorStorm, etc., mentioned on Twitter that he worked on Project Cars 3. So he's involved. That could, if he had any direction over the trailer, that could explain why it could have reminded people of Drive Club. But it's also worth. Oh, go ahead. Yeah, what is it?
It's interesting because it's like when you see it also with how some studios will get like other studios members and you can see flavors of the games that the other studio made.
Yeah. Yep.
I like that. And that's one thing with Criterion I thought about. I was like, oh wait, it just kind of goes 2.0, isn't it?
Yep.
I really hope that the difference is within the management and not the
Yeah.
actual dev team.
Yeah.
Because if it is that bad, that's not a good.
That's
sign.
not good.
That's bad as fuck.
Yeah, it is. Slightly Mad Studios, for those who don't know, they worked on Need for Speed Shift before going to Project Cars, so that could explain why it reminded a lot of people of Shift. A lot of UI elements, like Corner Master. When you're going around a corner, I think it shows a little diamond with a slot in it, and then it'll turn into a check mark or something. If you've quote-unquote mastered a corner, you've taken a clean line, you didn't slip, you didn't mess it up, whatever. That mechanic is back from Shift, and it just a lot of things hint to it really, 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 being close to Shift, and that's the vibe that I'm getting. So not only like actual like mechanics like corner mastery, but the field of view, the camera shake, and the nature of the camera also seems very similar to how Need for Speed Shift played. Especially the sense of speed from the field of view, and I know the field of view is a little bit ridiculous, but it in Shift 2. If you had a fast car, it was terrifying. You were made very aware of how fast something is. Holy cow, dude. I just remember I was in a Lamborghini in Shift 1. I did a works conversion kit, so it was extremely fast, right? And I'm on like the Nürburgring or something. I'm about to get to the straights, and I'm like, holy cow, how fast am I going? And I check it's 130.
Is it that final straight right?
No. It was towards the beginning of the straight. Right? And I was like, wow, how fast am I going? It's like 130 miles an hour. And it felt like 800. Like, holy cow. The sense of speed in that game is insane. But I don't think the sense of speed will be that good, but I think it will be pretty good. A lot of sim racing fans are already worried that it might be too arcade-like. I talked to a personal friend of mine, and he says he's probably not... he's not too excited about it just because it does look really arcade. But here's the thing. It's hard to tell if it's going to have realistic physics based on gameplay footage and also the camera. I don't think how the camera looks is a good indication.
Try it, or a trusted source tries it and then reports on it, it's hard to say.
Until then, yeah. The game has a bunch of car classes, I guess kind of similar to Forza. So there's Road E, Road D, C, B, A, a hypercar class. There's GTC, GTB, whatever, A, and then GT Open. Bunch of different car classes. You get action points in the game. So I don't quite exactly remember, but I think it's like, you're slipstreaming, you're doing whatever. So again, also similar to Shift, where you at the top of the screen you get little points and experience and all that stuff. And you do events and you get tokens from them, and you need a certain number of tokens to get to the next tier. So like, you're doing Road E events and you want to get to Road D. You can also buy your way into the next tier. So if people don't really want to progress through the whole thing, they can spend in-game cash on that. Possibly in-game cash. I don't think it was microtransactions, but I could be wrong. There are also invitational events, which require specific cars and things like that, and goals to unlock. Very similar to Shift, I think. They mention an emphasis on car upgrades, right? So this really isn't so much like Project Cars. This really is starting to sound a lot like Shift, right? The trailer even showed an AMG GT or GTS, and then it showed them like changing the tires and the wheels and stuff, and then the aerodynamics of it changed. So like they put a kit on that made it look like the GT3 variant of it. So that reminded me of Works conversion kits from Shift. Again, a lot of stuff. There's normal online multiplayer and special events, whatever.
Do you remind me of Works conversions?
Yeah, well,
on the Crew when you went circuit spec, because
yes,
it was their like GT3.
Yeah, it
GTC
was
counterparts. I was like, what? That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was sick. And then of course the fantasy ones like the Ford F-150. Honestly, that's sick. That's a ridiculous kit.
They're actually sick. Like, I was like, damn.
Yeah.
They really got this shit down. Like, I remember, those days of playing the Crew 1 beta.
Oh, man. Yeah, I played the open beta.
Even may have been janky, those were the days, because I remember the community. That is the one thing I've noticed is that I just enjoy when like the community just wiling out like, over the game. We just enjoy it.
Yeah. That's like man, especially the you know what sucked so much about the Need for Speed 2015 beta was everyone was like losing their mind over it, but you couldn't say anything. I mean, like it was hard to say stuff about it.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Oh, I remember
Oh.
something because that was when around I think when Theo was still in the Skype group and
Yeah.
they were all like, I want to say something. I want to talk. I want to say things.
Oh my
wanted
gosh.
to say.
Oh my
And,
gosh.
and here's
Yeah.
the thing: imagine going over and playing the original. Because remember how it used to look like in the trailers, playing that version,
Oh. Yeah.
refined
Yeah.
and all that different UI. It would have been interesting.
Yeah, it would.
I
It would.
would have
That'd be
loved to
crazy.
give that just as I would have loved to have that just as a demo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to try
Me too.
out.
I guess going back to Project Cars 3, the YouTuber Game Riot, some of you people have probably seen some of his videos. He had some exclusive footage and he was explaining some things like how changing tires on a Honda Civic changed its car class and level from 261 to 306. That reminds me a lot of Forza, but I think the Shift games, one of them also had that. Maybe both. I don't quite remember if they actually had a car leveling system.
I like about that is
What is it?
It really is. God, getting in a real car, honing out on ball tires. Interesting. It's fun. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
It's interesting.
And then you get a new pair, and it's like, oh, this is what grip is. So
Yeah.
I can, and that's what I do have some good pairs on this. Some excellent defenders. I'll probably because my old tires I used to go with were I used to go with the Toyo, the semi-slicks sometimes.
Yeah.
They're expensive, so even now and then it's like a treat. But it's like, God, changing up your tires
Makes such a big difference.
It really does feel like you get an extra 60 performance points on that shit.
It does.
It's crazy.
It makes a massive performance
and
difference.
tire choice is so important.
Yeah, it is.
The fun fact is the reason why all-weather tires, because I've seen it, because my mom, when me and my dad were just chilling in the lounge watching an F1 race, she was looking at the tires and I'm like, she's like, the wet tires look like our tires, and I'd say it's because the tread, and the reason why is because tread is necessary to get any grip in wet condition.
Yeah.
So we essentially just have wet tires. Just that's probably the extreme weakness of most people to drive.
Yeah.
I was good in the rain, cause it's weird because the lines change. It's fun.
Yeah.
So it's
of course.
diving in might be the
best.
Answer. Diving monkey.
Yeah.
Might be the answer. You never know.
It might be.
It might be. Because you might just lock up and grip right at the entrance. Like, oh, hey, look at you going for the line back there like a dickhead.
Yeah.
Because I think the greatest story about that was when Martin Brundle in Formula 3, because his major rival, and it's a real tragedy, he's one of those drivers where if he didn't have that injury, he probably would have been a monster. Because he nearly had to get his feet amputated. Because he hit the wall at Dallas, right?
Mm-hmm.
There used to be they used to have two Texas GPs, I remember back in the day. They had one in,
there's,
I think it was they had Austin, back before it was Circuit America, and then they had Dallas.
Yeah.
They also had Detroit. They had a lot of USGs, and then they had Long Beach. USGs used to have a huge stakeholder in F1.
It did.
And massive. They used to have 2-3 USGPs a year back in the 80s and 90s.
Mm-hmm.
And so he hit the wall straight on him with the nose cones with no protection. It just caved in his feet, right? And he nearly got amputated. But on the on-site doctor was like, "Don't do that shit. We can save the foot." He did. But it was his left foot. So when they moved away from H-pad and gearbox, right, pedals, he couldn't left foot brake.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
But he says in F3, it was a wet race at Donington, and he remembers seeing Senna rip past him and being like, "Oh, he's smart, but he's going way too quick into this absolutely drenched corner."
Yeah.
And he just watches him nearly swing off on the outside and just start turning. And then he's like, "Oh, maybe I can do that." And then he remembers slightly waking up, and his car's in home. He's like, he's something different.
Yeah, I'd imagine. Whew. Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Whew. I want to address pretty quick here. A lot of people are worried that the game's not going to be realistic enough. It looks too arcade, and I have some ideas as to why I don't quite think that's going to be the way it is. Right, Slightly Mad Studios is under Codemasters, and Codemasters already has Grid. Why would they basically have another version of Grid except you have upgrades, you have car performance, and you have car levels? Like basically Grid but better, right? Why? You know, so, and because they are currently going to be separate entities, it only makes sense that Grid is the Simcade racing game, and then Project Cars 3 is the simulator. But there still is a lot, I guess, more to kind of go on in this. If it is still kind of Simcade, I almost see it as like a competitor to Forza Motorsport if you have a PlayStation console. Kinda, sort of. If it's just like realistic enough.
It's the platform equivalent.
Yeah, and I know, like, well, what about Gran Turismo? We don't know what they're doing right now. They release games like once every 8 years, so you know what? Let's just, yeah, I get Gran Turismo's that, but it kind of.
Japanese devs aren't the best at communication.
Yeah, they aren't.
Nah, they're amazing. The funny thing is, Tekken's devs are considered the good Japanese devs of communication, and they're pretty questionable.
Oh, dude, there's one guy. I think what was his name? Hideki Kamiya. I don't quite remember who he is. I might have said the wrong name. I think he made The Wonderful 101 or some other game. And he's known for basically, if you ask him a question on Twitter and it's not in Japanese, he'll block you. Like, if he just wants, he'll just block you. But it's kind of funny. But moving aside, you know, I still consider, I guess, Project Cars 3 is kind of, sort of, maybe potential. Yeah, yeah, really. Put a potential kind of Forza Motorsport alternative.
Imagine like asking him how your day was and he blocks you.
Yeah, he's like that. He's like that. I'm not even kidding. I might have said the wrong person, and if so, I'm sorry. But yeah, no, that's a real thing.
You should have replied with Nande Genki de Nichi.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it's just that you're having a good day. You know,
yeah.
You need to reply in Japanese. You need to get some members of the community like.
Oh, dude! If you
imagine having to do that, like get members of the community who can like at least communicate
with them.
Just to,
yeah.
Like, say, can you say this to him in Japanese?
Dude, he has if you ask, he had like this like archive of his Twitter stuff, and he's like, if you ask me a question that hasn't already been answered here, and he just links you to this huge thing of like you just have to go back through, he'll block you. If you ask him a question he's already answered before.
English is forbidden. Leave.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Oh, hey, I'll show you after the thing.
But that is classic Japanese devs.
It is. The communication just isn't there.
Really good.
Who?
The fuck, Sakurai. Smash.
Yeah.
He's very good at communication, and he because you know the English thing. He will get English speakers to do his shit for him.
Yeah, because you have to. That's how. Don't just block everyone.
Imagine if Sakurai, someone asks him something about Smash, blocks.
No, here's the thing. He can understand English. He's tweeted in English before.
Yeah.
But it's always to be like, I will not respond to anything. Anyways, getting sidetracked. But I'll show you that after. Back to
do you know
Project
who responds in English? What about when I showed you the tweet that those guys
the Tekken guy?
Tekken. Yeah, and the Tekken dev is like, your life is shit. Like you are the loser. It's like what?
Communication in Japanese game development is something that should be investigated. Yeah, what is it?
Do you know what I like about him is, you know how when it comes to when you're making, like a dev is making a game, you hope they're good at it?
Yeah.
He sometimes turns up and will like go in like the pool stages for the Tekken tournaments and will actually sometimes get out of it. He's actually really good.
Okay. I didn't know about that.
It would be really like nice to see like, oh wow, like Need Speed or like a racing dev was actually like nuts as well.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to see.
Yeah,
like
but
at least we got it in good hands.
Yeah. I was trying to find the tweet, but I'll find that later. I want to go back to this because if it's completely a sim, I think it would actually be extremely unique. Because if you think about it, it would really be the only true simulator with the benefits that an arcade racer has. It has, if it was a realistic game, it would have progression, it would have customization, and it would really be like a Need for Speed Shift spiritual successor, except that it would be a proper simulator, right? And it would actually be realistic.
Yeah.
I do think that would be unique, and because Forza Motorsport's not quite there. Yeah, what?
What I've seen is, you know how like Cody's has a grapple hold on like everything at this point.
Yeah,
right?
yes, they do.
Like I've said, they're at the point where if they get a couple more licenses, they could just make like FIA for game, where you go through like, because they have the FIA CIK, which is the karting license.
Yeah.
Like they could literally make like, you know, Project Cars, you go through the ranks.
Yep.
Like the categories. They could do that with the series.
They definitely could.
Series. Like they need to get the WEC license.
Mm-hmm.
But like a WEC and a couple, like one or two more crucial ones, and that's about it.
Yeah, Codemasters right now they got a.
Why would Codemasters ever merge Dirt and
WRC?
WRC could be the sim, and Dirt is the simcade. They have both markets.
Yeah, they could incorporate Dirt Rally with WRC and then just have normal.
Yeah, I said they have a motorsports empire of licenses.
Yeah, I mean, no, not even that, but also like just game IPs. They now have Dirt, WRC, Project Cars, F1, Grid, and last but not least, Fast and Furious Crossroads.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. That's actually why I I wonder if Codemasters like looking at all this success and like, yeah, we need the Need for Speed. Oh wait, the Need for Speed license. Oh,
yeah, that's not the move, man. We already talked about that last time. We already talked about that last time. But man,
when you showed me the trailer, I was like, "What the fuck? This is a thing." I thought it was a meme. I legitimately thought. It was a meme.
Yeah, dude, I showed my friend, a friend of mine.
You know,
and then he
like, "What is this dog?"
No, but you know what happened, right? So he was like making fun of the gameplay and all right like that, right? And he didn't like fully finish the scene before texting me, right? And I was like, also like the graphics are pretty poor, and he's like, wait, it hasn't come out yet? What? He thought it came out like 2 generations ago or something.
That's the thing. All my friends are like, "Why does this game look like fucking Black Ops?"
Yeah, he thought it came out like 10 years ago. I'm like, no, it's still coming out. Hasn't come out yet. Oh gosh. All right. I'm getting sidetracked. There's one last thing I want to say. I think what will really cement this idea that it could be a Shift spiritual successor, but actually be realistic, and then I think would be something special. I found an article from 2018, 2 years ago, states that Ian Bell, I think the director or whatever his position may be, saying this, quote, Project Cars 3 will be more of a spiritual successor to Shift, but with all the sim goodness everyone appreciates. So as long as what he's saying is true, then we can expect it to be like Shift, as we've already seen, with the corner mastery and the UI and the camera shake and that and the upgrades and the basically works conversion kits and the road racing and the road cars and the realism because, you know, the Project Cars, they would lose their player base if they went really arcade. So that really begs the question, you know, why are so many people so confused that it's so arcade and so much like Shift? They already said this a couple times, actually. I think first on GT Planet and then on other sources, but and then he's also like, he himself on his Twitter has replied with you know, like information about like, oh no, we're gonna have it be realistic and we're gonna actually work on the handling model, and yeah, you'll be able to play it better with a controller rather than a wheel, but it should still be realistic. It should still be that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
But then again,
my thing about that is, I think that just chips into what I always say is, I feel like people just don't ever like fact check or try research.
They don't, because let me tell you, I forgot about this article completely from 2018 completely, and then I researched it, and I was like, wait, no, they actually, that's what's happening right now, right? Because before I researched it, I was also confused. I was like, you know, what the heck's going on? What do they do to Project Cars? And I looked at this, and I'm like, oh, it all makes sense. All the pieces fit. Especially also what he's been saying on Twitter. So, yeah.
My thing about that is, I feel like, yeah, people have their opinions, it's fine, but I feel like someone's opinion, it's like, it's like legitimately been proven incorrect because a dev said this.
Yeah. And like here's the thing, like you can have the opinion that, oh, like why is it more like an arcade racer, but that's not really
Yeah,
your
but
opinion.
these are
Your
racing
opinion is I would not like it for it to be an arcade racer, right? Where your opinion wouldn't change if you found out that in 2018 they were talking about it being a Shift spiritual successor. That wouldn't change your opinion on like simcade racing games. All that means is now you understand why, right? But you don't like how. So
Yeah.
I kind of get what you're saying. And here's an important thing, a very important thing, right? This is Ian Bell we're talking about. So we're talking about releasing Project Cars 1 and it's bugged, it's broken, and then the day it comes out, you announce Project Cars 2, and then it's also crowdfunded. So you have these millions of dollars, and you didn't even fix the game yet, and then boom, second game announced, also crowdfunded, that you could easily afford it. Secondly, people were like, oh, you promised...
What were those exclusive packs? Remember
Oh
those?
yeah, dinner with
Yes.
Ian Bell. Secondly, I want to keep going. You have situations where people are like, well, you actually, believe it or not, you promised that there would be a Wii U port of Project Cars, and yeah, nobody's gonna buy it for the Wii U, but whatever, right? They said they were gonna do it. That's what matters. And then he says, we
Yeah.
don't like Nintendo users very much. It was either him or someone on his team or someone on Slightly Mad actually said that we don't like Nintendo users very much. But
Stinky
let's just
losers
go.
who play
Let's just
Smash.
keep going. Let's just keep going. There's also tales of people have said where they got banned for trying on their forums for trying to give them constructive criticism and other stuff like that. And also him when he talked about the game console that they were gonna try to make, because they mentioned that before, how they're actually
Yes.
working on a game console, and then there was a lot of like lashing back, and the stuff on the forums might not be true, right? We don't like Nintendo users very much. I might be remembering that incorrectly, but all of these counts, all of these kind of bits of anecdotal evidence point me to think that maybe we can't quite take his word for it, right? Not saying that he has a history of not being truthful, but I don't know if I trust what he's saying based off of moral integrity. You know what I'm saying? So let me say this.
The guy who says, if you buy this big ass package, I'll have dinner with you. It's
Yeah, that is. I'll say this. And I know it's a little bit of an unpopular opinion, and I know a lot of people are like, I really don't care about Project Cars. Maybe I'll get it 3. I'll get it for sale. Oh, it's
I care about
half
it a little
arcade.
just because it's still a racing game. You know?
Yeah. But honestly, I'm being honest, and you don't have to agree. No one has to agree. But I'm honestly, genuinely a bit excited for this game. I actually am, because if it's fully realistic, right, then it's gonna be so much fun.
Oh,
Well, because I'm fortunate enough to actually have a wheel, but then it has the customization and like basically the works upgrades and then the progression and stuff like that. And it'll be like Need for Speed Shift, and I love that game.
You know what I love about that?
Yeah. What
Like
is
the
it? What is
works
it?
Progressions and all that.
Yeah.
It's almost like if you go into like a new category and you actually have to upgrade your car to compete in it. It's a different class.
Yes.
I love
What a
that.
feature.
'Cause, like-
And here's the thing, the one thing I didn't quite like Shift for was its handling model. And if they're actually truthful and that there is going to be a realistic sim racing handling model, then what have I got to worry about, right? It's really, if you think about it, Shift was kind of like I saw it as a spiritual successor to Pro Street. And I see this as a kind of sort of continuation of that. It's a little bit Need for Speed-ish, because you're going to have like credits. I think you're going to like buy cars, you're going to upgrade them, and you're going to do all of that stuff. A bit like Need for Speed, and also I guess Forza Motorsport and Horizon with buying and upgrading. But then the progression, and then with the realistic handling model. I really hope it has a realistic handling model. If it feels too
I
much
would
like
love if
Shift,
you
then
could
I'll just
take,
get on
like,
sale.
I love if, like, say, the final class is like some full-blown like GT3 series.
Oh yeah. That'd be
I
cool.
love the idea that you could just take your starter
No,
car
dude,
all the way through
imagine,
and get, like, a works upgrade.
imagine there's like basically like a second works conversion kit. So like you get the first one, it's a race car or whatever. The second one turns into an F1 car.
That's fucking scary. Like a Toyota Supra.
Ford
and, like,
Focus
the upgrade,
F1.
You upgrade it to the Toyota F1 car way back in the day.
Oh,
Like the
yeah.
2000s era,
Yeah.
the V10s.
That would be
wild.
crazy. Oh,
Because
man.
the funny thing is, now imagine they had specific branches. Because one thing is, you know that how the LFA they were losing money sale.
Yeah.
The reason why is because how much money they put into the development of the engine, which is it's a reverse engineered V10 from the like 2000
Yeah.
car.
Something
so
like
it's
that.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, what if you just make it? Oh, the LFA. Oh yeah, you just like street tune it back to its roots.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, that'd
Huh.
be sick.
I guess if I could, I guess make some closing thoughts. I get that a lot of people are not that excited for Project Cars 3, and I understand. And I don't want to be burned either, you know? Coming from someone who bought Heat full price, I really don't want something like this to happen again. But I think
napalm.
I think if they pull it off, right? I think it could actually be unique. But there's one issue.
What they're saying, this will be insane.
Yeah, it really, like, think about it. What other game would really kind of blend almost like the best aspects of arcade and sim? Think about it, right? And here's why I think if they're gonna do it, why they have done it before. I don't have experience with this because I don't track my car, especially now, because insurance was deactivated. It's personal stuff, whatever. But I'll say this: I bet, and I'm not coming from experience, but I bet that if you have a car and you so much as change the tire width of your car, it is going to feel so much different that it's going to take a ton of effort to accurately represent what changed. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying
like,
there? So
especially with tire width.
yeah. So what I'm imagining is that it won't really be that realistic once you get upgrades on, but it'll feel pretty close to the real thing when cars are stock. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like that has kind of been the challenge, and that's why there wouldn't have been, performance upgrades. Because it's, if you're going to be fully realistic, there's a lot of work to be done there. But I think,
Insane work.
I still think,
amount.
yeah, but I think if they pull this off, and honestly, I'm not so sure I fully believe that they can, but if they pull it off, I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm being honest here, and I know a lot of people aren't, but I'm genuinely looking forward to it because we really haven't seen anything like that. And suppose that it's basically like Shift. I still enjoyed Shift a lot. I still enjoyed Shift 2. I'll buy Shift 3, aka Project Cars 3, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So apparently, it said in the trailer coming summer 2020. So that's like what, 1 month, 2 months? Like how much time they got left? So
Not a lot. This better be final touches.
Yeah, that is one of the things that also has me a little bit worried because like, oh, you're just announcing it now and like it's gonna come out in a few months.
Hopefully they're doing like the Nintendo style of announcing real late, where like they've literally.
Yeah. And here's another thing. I think that they're probably gonna just release a version on Xbox One, PS4, whatever, and then probably also gonna release one on Series X and PS5.
About development time, right?
Yeah.
One thing I thought was interesting is Tekken 7 released on home consoles in 2017, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it released in arcades in 2015.
Oh, that's interesting.
And they did 2 years extra dev time, like fixing up balancing issues and shit.
Oh,
like,
that's
before
actually pretty cool.
It. No, that's one of the things Japanese devs do insanely well is, and it's very obvious when it's not the case. They'll always like try like bleed out a release date, trying to get it like optimized.
They want it perfect.
Like it was supposed to release in 2016. Tekken 7, and then released a year later. But when they did release it, it was like instant success. Like everything that was like wrong with it, they ironed out.
Yeah.
Like there's more new issues.
I mean, like when you buy a brand new Mario game for $60, you're not gonna get a broken buggy mess. You're getting like blood and sweat and tears right in there.
Oh yeah, you're paying with your like soul. That's how those games work.
Yeah.
Like, if you've ever played like I've played the newest Mario Party because one of my boys recently bought it, and like I tried it at his place, and I was like, this game feels too kind. Like, I played the old Mario Party, and they're rough.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
get
they
kicked
were.
while you're down.
Oh man, but as for difficulty and how things go over time, I think that's an entirely different discussion. You know, but as for what we've got now, we're quite a bit over time. But hey, I really think Project Cars 3, whether or not it really will actually live up to expectations, or it'll just be another
There's
generic
something
racing
there.
game, I think
There's something
it's
there.
something worth looking at, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying go out and buy it, go out and pre-order it, but keep your eye on it. Keep your eye on Project Cars 3.
Yeah, we got it sounds like Spice is on the way.
Yeah,
Could potentially be on the way.
and I know there's a lot of people saying that it's
he's promised.
yeah, and a lot of people are oh, it's just generic. They made it more arcade. Who cares anymore? They're not wrong, right? They're not entirely, but just really, you'll know if this is something that's really good. Just keep your eye on it. Keep your eye on it. I hope they release a demo. I think they released a demo for the last game. Hopefully that comes out. People can test it. We'll hear more about it, but yeah, that's Project Cars 3, and that
Think about it. Betas are just new age demos.
Kinda, yeah. Yeah, they basically are. Yeah. Alright, on that note, I think that's going to wrap it up for that. And if anyone wants to leave a comment, please do. We will respond and say what it is that's on our minds. And also, I just, I'm not saying that there's an issue when people don't comment, but it really is just so much more special that people are actually commenting. So another shout out to Ty Cal, and also Maximus Overdrive. Man's been leaving comments on basically like every, almost every like not even just the sermon, just like the videos that I put up in general. It's like, really appreciate that.
Drivecast.
Yeah. Back then. Yeah. It is. But that's it, and we'll see you guys all in the next one.